It is Wednesday, the 7th of February, 2024. Good morning to you and welcome to another day's broadcast. How are you feeling this morning? I know we are definitely feeling good. I'm feeling good. I don't know about Simeon, but I'm feeling good.
I think I'm okay, basically. I'm okay. We will be all right last, basically. Good morning to you and welcome to your favorite station, Voice of the People. And of course, it's another day for us to go through some of the trending headlines making the rounds across several newspaper platforms. As always, at 7:30 a.m., we get joined by El-Rufai Oseni, who will be fleshing out some of the headlines we'll be talking about this morning. And as always, we will be flipping through the pages of a couple newspapers. So we'll be taking some headlines from The Sun, take some from Daily Trust, as well as The Punch and Nigerian Tribune as well. So these are the papers we'll be checking out our headlines from. And please note that for every headline we talk about right here, it is not our opinion. Basically, it is just as it is on the covers of the newspaper. So today, as always, we'll start with the trending stories make the round. In fact, let me take out time to congratulate Nigerians on the arrival of our president.
Why are you congratulating us?
No, we have to congratulate ourselves, because we've been through a lot, in the past 2 weeks since the president stepped out of the country to France. So
let me ask, what difference does it make? I was having this conversation with Rufai yesterday, and he kept saying, "Where's the president?" And I kept asking, why do you need to be micromanaged? If you are a staff of a company, right, and you have been given a job description, you've been given tasks laid out ahead of you, why does your supervisor need to be there to micromanage you every step of the way? Doesn't it show that you are a bad person for that job?
I totally understand your concern, but let's look at it from this point of view. We know that the president is the number one man of the country, and for everything that goes right or goes wrong in a country, the president will always be the first point of call, as he's the number one citizen of the country. So you wouldn't blame Nigerians who are concerned about the whereabouts of their president and also want to know about the health status of their president. We were told he went on, a private trip, on a private visit. We do not know who the president went to visit. A lot of postulations were flying around.
We didn't see anything.
We didn't see pictures
as to where the president was.
So you wouldn't blame Nigerians who were calling for the arrival of the president. And of course, we need to congratulate ourselves right now on the arrival of our number one man. And talking about his arrival, great, good to know that he's back. Being that the president is back, he has returned from France, and according to The Punch, he's ordering an emergency meeting on food security. Tinubu returns from France, orders emergency meeting on food security. President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday night, which was yesterday, returned to Nigeria after a 2-week private visit to Paris in France. The president's jet, that's NAF 001, touched down at the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport at about 9 p.m. And the president was received by top government officials, including his chief of staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, the SG of the Federal, that's the SGF, George Akume, as well as the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, as well as Nyesom Wike, who's the Minister of the FCT. And on landing, the president have actually, assured Nigerians, that despite the anger, where youth and women are angry and have taken to the street in different parts of the country here, protesting the rising cost of living in the country. He has actually said so far he's here, he will be having an emergency meeting with his cabinet, basically to address the issues of food shortage, food scarcity in the country. Looking at this is a good one that the president have decided to arrive, and of course, just the moment he arrived, he has started making, affirming statement, assuring Nigerians that he's here to tackle some of the challenges and the problems we've raised while he was away.
Who is he assuring at this point? Like last year, we had this issue, we had a situation where he declared a state of emergency on food security. What happened? When you declare a state of emergency, we're supposed to be seeing some kind of moves that you're making. What did we see the president do at that time? What did he do? What other reforms did we see in the agricultural sector? All the things that he had promised last year when he reeled out, when he shouted subsidy was gone, when he did all that, and declaring state of emergency on food security, what was the outcome of that? Now you're having an emergency meeting on food and food security in the country. What is going to be the outcome? Every time we have committees meeting, every time we have sitting allowances given to these individuals for coming in to a committee and talking, yet Nigerians are the ones bearing the brunt of it. The truth
is that, Gessie, that's if they are talking. We've watched a couple of videos where we see some of our representatives, rather than move motions or push for bills that will better the lives of their those they represent, we see them sleeping. So they are being paid sleeping allowance at this point. See if that is what you mean, because this one is not sitting allowance anymore. We just hope that talking about food security in the country, the president, since he's back, is going to take a decisive action on that particular one. And still talking about food security, on The Guardian, it says Nigeria, Burkina Faso, 4 others to experience food crisis till May 2024. This is the report on the Guardian newspaper for today. And of course, World Bank has said some areas in Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Mali, Chad, Niger, as well as Cameroon will face food security due to persistent insecurity and conflict and deteriorating livelihoods. Areas affected in Nigeria, according to this particular report, the states are Adamawa State, Borno State, Kaduna, Katsina, Sokoto, Yobe, as well as Zamfara State, will be having issues of food security as a result of insecurity. And the World Bank stated this in its latest food security update report, which was released yesterday, with projected food price inflation to remain high globally across low, middle and high income nations. So we've been told to brazen up. The World Bank has told us that so far the food shortages and the food crisis we are seeing in the country at the moment, this is as a result of insurgencies across several states in the country. So now looking at the states that have been mentioned by the World Bank, the likes of Kaduna, where we've heard several reports of attack, in Borno, where that's the far northeast, where we see, in fact, that is the home of Boko Haram before we see them move further to the north central. It's really alarming. Looking at this particular report, it is necessary that the federal government puts and implements policies to help shock, serve as a shock absorber to Nigerians when issues like this start happening. Because at the moment we've seen the protests across several states. Yesterday, I don't know if you touched on the headline where there was protests in Niger State, and this is because of food shortage. So something ought to be done, as it has become a national issue for us as Nigeria. You go to the market right now, you see the inflation, the prices of goods. I saw I think on the Guardian this morning as well, price of egg is even the lead story. Before they tell you, as humans, we need 1 egg per day, to eat. Is good for your health. But right now, you want to buy a crate of egg, you hear they are selling it at 3,500 for 1 crate.
So we bought, over the weekend, a crate of egg at 4,000 naira.
Oh, you see?
It was alarming. I was like, what? If not that we need eggs. If not, I would have looked at
Nigerians, you need to
and
look
giving
for
him bombastic
alternatives.
side eye, because it's crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous. Food commodity prices. We're looking at, let's do a little bit of comparison from May 2023 versus now. Just before Tinubu came into office and now that he is in office, right? We're looking at 50 kg of rice. It sold last year at 35,000 naira. Right now, that same 50 kg of rice is selling at 65,000 naira. That represents an 85.7% change increment in the prices. In flour, you're looking at 50 kg bag of flour, 28,500 naira is what it sold at in May, and now it's selling at 50,000 naira, 75.4% change. It's absolutely ridiculous. Beans, Simeon beans that was sold last year, 1 bag of beans, 50 kg bag of beans, 30,000 naira as at May of last year. Right now it is selling at 62,000 naira. Onions last year was selling at 28,000 naira. This year it is selling at 60,000 naira. The only thing that remained a bit of a mystery to me is the palm oil. Palm oil was sold at 29,000, and for this year it is sold at 25,000 naira. But we have a cement, the 1 bag of cement, 4,200 as at May last year and 6,500 as at this year. Simeon, yesterday night I watched an interview of Felix Moka, and he was talking about the current economic realities, and he was being asked about the back and forth between the PDP and the APC, the opposition. They've been complaining about the state of the economy and all that, and then he kept saying, oh, this is just according to those people's point of views. And we have to ask the APC and people who come out as spokespersons, is it that the price of commodities are not increasing in your own area? Abi get markets where they go. It make una tell Nigerians now, una get plug.
Possibly.
Let us know about it, because when you hear some of these spokespersons coming out to talk about Nigeria and the state of the economy, you begin to wonder, are we the ones that have the issues? Are we the ones going mad? Are we the ones confused by the state of the economy? Abi is just in our own area. Maybe others are experiencing ease and comfort wherever they are.
It's quite shocking to see the problem Nigerians are currently going through, especially when it comes to food shortages and sudden statement made by supporters of this administration. The truth is, or some call them puppets of this administration, it is quite pathetic that sometimes when the spokespersons to government officials make certain remarks and comments, they speak like they are not part of the system. They speak like they are not even here in Nigeria, and they speak like they don't even know the cost, the rising cost of living in the country. They speak like they came from Mars. They were just dropped from there. And most times when I see them speak, I really just don't really take their words seriously, because I know at the end of the day you wouldn't want to speak evil of your paymaster. And that is what some of the spokespersons are doing on national television and us dailies as well. But still talking on food security, let's touch the headline on Nigerian Tribune, as it has become one of the biggest story in the country at the moment. And on the headline on Nigerian Tribune, it says Ribadu Gbajabiamila ministers meet, say government will unlock food in storage facilities. Ribadu Gbajabiamila ministers meet, say government will unlock food in storage facilities.
This is the first time I'm hearing the NSA's name being mentioned in all. We've had security issues back to back for about 3 weeks, 2 weeks now, and this is the first time I'm even hearing his name being mentioned in all the issues that have been bedeviling Nigeria, in the past weeks.
Following the outbreak of protests in parts of the country over rising cost of living, the federal government has set machinery in motion to tackle food shortages. A special presidential committee met at the presidential villa yesterday, which was Tuesday, to articulate actions necessary to stem the tide, including the release of available food in stock. Minister of Information and National Orientation, that's Mohammed Idris, who spoke to a correspondent after the meeting, said government is concerned about the protest, particularly the one that occurred in Mina, Niger State, and wants to ensure that there is relief for citizens. He also disclosed that the meeting was just the first in the series of planned sessions, assuring that government will make food available from its storages across the country. And looking at the statement credited to the Minister of Information, saying that there are food in storages, in government warehouses, these foods will be made available. Some of the things that shock me as a people, as a person, I beg your pardon, is that how will you have people in poverty, people in penury, people who barely feed, they are here looking for food on a daily basis. No one can even boast, even those who are middle class, because these days there's no even middle class. It's either you are up there or you are down below. The middle class dichotomy has now been eroded totally. So if there are foods in government storages or warehouses, my question is, why didn't these government officials deem it fit to release these foods, the grains and everything from government storage house, until it has gotten to the point where we've seen protests in Niger State and in Kano State, just as it was reported yesterday, before they now realize that, it is time for us to now release these food items to Nigerians before they will, because based on everything they are saying now, their concern is the protest. So if there was no protest in Kano or in Niger State, nothing will be done or said about the food crisis.
Simeon, who are these hoarders? who are these individuals who are hoarding food?
No, they are not hoarding it, they are storing it.
Okay.
For times like this.
The ones that are helping us store our food, who are they? What do they stand to gain from hoarding? Because this is hoarding. You can't tell me that you have kept it in your care, in your custody for months. For months now, Nigerians are hungry. We've been talking about food security. The president had declared a state of emergency, yet these individuals kept on holding it. Why has nothing been done to these individuals?
Because
do we not know who they are?
Government has no. The point is, I think you need to understand how those government warehouses work. They have to get permission. The federal government ought to release them. These are federal government's warehouses where some food items are being stored. It's not like it's individuals that are keeping them. Now, permission has to be taken, and the federal government has to give permission that, okay, this amount of food items should be, dispersed.
Let me now ask you this question. This particular permission, wherever they're going to get it from, are they going to France to collect the permission from the president before they come back to Nigeria? And if they are going to France, are they trekking to France to get the permission? Is it not a phone call? Is it not a memo? Is it a situation that's just started today? It's not a problem that just started today. It didn't just start yesterday. It didn't just start in 2024. This is an issue that has been there since last year.
Talking about food, crisis, truth be told, there have been food crises for a while, but we haven't had it this bad, the way we've had it in the past. In fact, since January, it got worse in January. If you actually read the comments in the newspapers. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Rufai.
Bless you. Morning, Gassi.
Good morning.
The president is back. I just wanted to say that first. The president is back, Mr. Rufai.
Okay, I should be screaming daddy oyoyo abi. Daddy oyoyo.
Are you not excited? Yeah, I think the excitement
daddy oyoyo.
Yesterday we had a conversation with Mr. Rufai. He was upset.
Daddy oyoyo. So okay. Daddy oyoyo, welcome back. What did you bring from France? So did you bring French baguette or baguettes? Anyone you bring, just remember, we are also telling you that there's a lot of insecurity, no food, food inflation, kidnapping. But we thank God, that at least that the wife of the monarch that was killed, the current monarch that was killed, the trauma, after she went through the trauma, she's been released. We also want to remind you that the youth corps members, that a lot of them entered the bus and they went. They were going to serve their fatherland. Then the next thing, you know what happened to them? They were kidnapped. They are still in kidnappers there. Some of them ran away, escaped recently, but most of them are still there. That day, I would just also want to remind you that people were also kidnapped in GIGM bus, around the area, around the Kogi and all of that. So we just also want to remind you that the protest and people say it was your enemy that were protesting, but me, I want to tell you that don't let them deceive you. It's Nigerians that are protesting. There are no food, there's nothing. The means of livelihood is flattened. Those are the things I want to remind you. So, Daddy, move on. Oh yo, Daddy, oh yo, Daddy, oh yo, Daddy, oh yo, Daddy.
Daddy. You asked the question. You said Kile Mubo, and of course, in answering that question, we've seen the president, call for an emergency meeting on food security, and we've seen, Noah Ribado, the NSA, also speaking on food security. That they are going to have They had one session yesterday to address this, and this was because of the protest. My question is, did they have to wait for people to protest in Niger and Kano State before they address this issue?
I mean, it just shows you a government that is insensitive. If it was the protest that triggered them and they couldn't see for themselves, there was massive food insecurity, then they have a problem. I guess I'll send you one recording I did with a professor in Senegal that gives a proper update of what's happening as regards to the political crisis in Senegal. And why I'm saying this and linking it to Senegal is the fact that, you see, when leadership is missing, what you have is uprising. It's because leadership is missing in Senegal. That's why you're having the uprising, because the president is so concerned about himself. In Nigeria, because the politicians are so concerned about themselves, so they can't even feel the pulse of the people. The question you should ask is, where are the research departments that are supposed to research the price of food cumulatively? When they saw that the price of food was up, why didn't they hold emergency meeting then? So when we tell them they are government that reacts, government of the reaction by the reactionocracy, they think, oh, we are hurting them and all of that. But no, and I don't know why it's so difficult for them to take criticism. These are the same people that carried mock coffins around during Jonathan's time. And they criticized him for subsidy removal. They are now doing. But the only thing they have done is that the cocktail of subsidy removal is also coinciding with devaluation of the currency. And that's why you see the CBN governor struggled yesterday when they asked him critical questions at the National Assembly. They asked, for instance, you are saying that we are self-sustainable in cement, but we are still giving forex to cement production. I mean, how come? How come with that? You couldn't answer the question. So there are many things in this country that we need to really know about, and we need to tell ourselves the truth. But we don't tell ourselves the truth enough. So the president is back. I'm sure he's recharged for the challenges. There should be a lot of challenges for him on ground to settle, and he should start going to mend things. And let's see the work of the military. Let's see the work of security agencies. This is coming too deep. The insecurity is just too much. The killings are too much. The bloodshed is too much.
All right, Mr. Rufai, last year, as of July, the president had declared a state of emergency on food and food inflation, food insecurity and all that last year. What were we expected to see? You know, once a government declares a state of emergency, there are certain measures that are put in place to ensure that, you know, you are not just shouting, oh, state of emergency. There are things that you do, steps that you take to ensure that you finally come out of that state of emergency on whatever it is that you're declaring it, on. The president had issued a state of emergency on food insecurity last year. What exactly did he do, and why do we have this prevailing situation right now?
With due respect, when people say they declare a state of emergency on anything in Nigeria, you and I are doing a talk shop. They are just talking. They are just blabbing. I can say, oh, guess I hereby declare a state of emergency on Frontpage review this morning. And so what? After declaration, what did you do? Nothing. All the promises they made last year. We are going to cultivate 150,000 hectares in each state of the federation and plant. Have they planted anything? Foul. The strategic grains reserve that I will say they are going to release from. What is even in the strategic grain reserve? If we have famine as we speak, can that last us for a month? Are we food? You know, Nigeria doesn't have food sustainability. And these are the things where have we tried to work on post-harvest losses? You see, the little that we're ever producing, post-harvest losses is eating up a lot of things. I mean, go to those hinterlands, go to those villages. The insecurity that is ruining all of us. I mean, I hope you know that. Anyway, guess you are a J-Town girl. You are a Jos woman, Abi.
No.
Okay, you are not from Jos.
No, Bayelsa.
Oh, you are from Bayelsa. Okay, it's
Chinwe. Yes.
It's Chinwe that's from J-Town. Go Mangu, Bokos, all those areas that which are killing people in them. Hope you know those are the potato belts of this country. That's where they found the largest amount of potato. So now with the insecurity and the displacement, definitely you're going to have an upsurge in price of food. That's why food inflation has been 32%. What has been done as regards? Is it today we've been having rising food inflation? When the 100 farmers were killed in Zebamari during Buhari administration, what did the Daraba Shehu say there? Didn't he even almost deny the fact that it happened? So we have multiple problems on that. And the earlier we solve them, the better. And let me tell you something. With due respect, these problems are not rocket science. It's just that we don't have the willingness to solve them. You allocate money to the problem. Some people are so corrupt, they are looking for how to eat out of the money. Hope you know that despite all of this that we are talking about, that the country is down, so people are still stealing from the country. And that's the side effect of things happening. So he has his problem put out for him, and he needs to be able to do what's that for all.
All right. Moving on to another headline this morning.
Okay, let's move on and let's talk about, what happened, in Benue State, where it has been reported that 17 persons have been killed as, Benue State is currently boiling. That is the headline on Daily Trust. This happened in the Entekpa ward in Adoka district of Otukpo. local government area of Benue State, where there was a reported attack by some elements. 3 communities were attacked and 17 people have been reported dead, by the newspaper. Looking at this, we get to talk about security. I remember last year when, Samuel Ortom was still the governor of Benue State. He raised concerns as to the amount of wanton killings happening in that particular state. Of course, we didn't see the former president at the time take a decisive action, but we President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we expected better. And Benue State, that has always been a hotbed for killing. We have seen more reports of killings and attacks happening in Benue State. What can be done basically to address this issue across board, not just in Benue, but also here in FCT?
You see, the problem is the politicization of everything. When Otto was raising those concerns, the likes of them, Buhari felt disgruntled and say, Otto is politicized because he left their political party. But Otto was right. Otto even went ahead to set up a Benue neighborhood guard. But I don't know, maybe Governor Isaac Alia and the others continue. Because Governor Isaac Alia now is not speaking tough. You know why? Because people from his political party are in charge, they are in the center, and also the fact that people that are close to him are the secretary to the state, to the government of the federation. Why people are dying? Somebody made a call. Somebody was telling me yesterday about how somebody that was working for him all of a sudden got a call and said, "Oh God, they leave and they go home, they don't kill my brother for Benue."
Wow.
And that Benue killing, Otupo local government area, I think that's where the remark is from. And when you look at these things, it's just persistent and government has not done anything about it. People are being slaughtered on the Benue. Hope Benue is another bread basket in Nigeria.
Very true.
They produce a lot of yams and all of that. They are very good in agriculture. All of these two are added to what we call the food insecurity that is happening in the country. Because you are killing these people, you are collecting their land from them, chasing them off their land. They can't produce food. So these are the problems the president needs to solve. It's not by launching new helicopters. They need to launch the Super Tucano for years back. What did the Tucano? Did Tucano anything? All the Tucanos have not Tuca. You didn't say the bed of the Tucano. But it's not by launching new attack helicopters.
Okay.
It's by solving the problem on ground and ensuring that people go back to full productivity.
All right, before we even continue this conversation, I just wanted to remind the listeners that we are live on YouTube. Go ahead and join us live on YouTube. It's at Voice of the People Abuja. Go ahead and leave us a comment. If you want to join the conversation, you can call as well as send a WhatsApp message to 0700 010 961 961. 0700 010 961 961.
So now back, let me get to ask you, El-Rufai, quickly. We know that Alia is a member of the APC, and we've seen what has happened. His predecessor was a member of the PDP before he handed over to Alia.
No, his predecessor was a member of the G5.
Of the G, okay, not the PDP or the G5.
G5.
Okay, the predecessor was a member of the GP. It broke out, a session of the PDP. Let me use that word. Now, will we see
G5.
or the G5? Will we see the political will of to address this issue, knowing that APC is the government in power during Autumn's era? It was a PDP APC thing, APC at the center and then PDP at the state level. There was this constant calling out of the government to address it. Being a member of the APC, which El Alia is at the moment, will we see him have the effrontery to call on the president to address this issue, knowing that they are of the same party?
I dare him to call the president out. He can't. That's what politics does. It blinds your sense of judgment. Politics, sometimes you have blind loyalty. It blinds your sense of judgment. I dare him. The IDPs in Benue are growing, but I dare him to call this present government out. And that's why you can also say politically and all of that. Yes, you can say Autumn didn't pay salary, didn't do well, but I thank Autumn for calling out the situation. At least if you can't even get anything done about it, call them out. And he was attacked. He was almost killed. He had to scamper for his dear life because of that, but he stood firm. He stood firm. But I dare Reverend Father Halia, he's not going to do it. They are too close to God. And that's why I tell people, speak the truth always. As I am not aligned to any political party. If Obi or Atiku had not said and they did not do well, this is how we're talking against them.
Okay.
Because in the end, it is the betterment of Nigeria we all want. This country is so blessed; it has no reason to suffer.
All right. Last year, according to the CBN, pardon me, in 10 years rather, according to the CBN governor, it says Nigerians spent $98 billion on foreign trips, education in 10 years. Mr. Rufai, are we going to see an increase based on the current economic realities on these figures?
Oh. Hello? Hello, Mr. Rufai, are you there? Hello? Okay. We sincerely apologize for the break. We'll try to get across to him right back so he can actually talk about this. The CBN has now blamed the Naira shortfall. This is CBN now putting the blame on Nigerians. That, we are part of the reason why the, why we've seen the shortfall of the Naira. Stating that in about 10 years, Nigeria actually spent $98 billion. Part of it is on foreign trips.
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Good.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Rufai. Oh, I don't know why the network is messing up this morning.
Yeah, hello?
But, Mr. Rufai.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can now.
Oh, why? Okay. Hello? Okay, sorry, we'll try to get across to him right back. Now, looking at the statement, the headline on the Punch, where, the CBN have actually said Nigerians have actually spent $98 billion on, foreign trips. These include medical tourism as well as education. And now, looking at the figures. Hello, Mr. Rufai, are you back?
Good. So, as I was saying, I can't you see that the numbers really jumped in the last 8 years of this administration when the economy started to plummet? You know why? The number of people that wanted to go to school abroad, I hear it's projected to be over 200,000. Over 100,000 now. From a number of about 16,000 in 1998, 1999, steadily about the 30,000. But in the last 8 years, the number jumped to about 70,000. From 70,000 to about 100,000. You know why? Because people are using study route as a way to relocate. And it's also an indictment of one, the economy. Two, it's also an indictment on the healthcare situation. Okay, for Nigeria having UCH in Ibadan in the 70s, that was the fifth best healthcare in the Commonwealth. So Nigeria now having a lot of medical tourism to India. Hope you know most of the money spent on medicals, the billions of dollars spent on medicals, they've gone largely to India and some other countries. So when you look at it, our healthcare system has fallen so flat to the extent that people can't get quality treatment here. Even our politicians, you saw how President Buhari was only going to see his doctor in London. That's part of medical tourism. Anyway, President Tinubu says private visit he has gone for. People are saying all sorts of things. So you see how we've been having tourist presidents. President Buhari left this country close to half a year on medical tourism abroad. So it's because our healthcare system and everything and our education system has gone down over the years. I used to know how schools like this, Federal University is very competitive back in the day to get into them. But because the system has been disturbed, has been devalued, and that's the thing that happened. So let's just do this and ensure that our country becomes a whole lot better. Thank you guys so much. Have a great morning.
All right. Thank you so much, Rufai, for joining us this morning. Have a good day.
Yeah, that's good. Yes.
Okay. Anyway, remember, feel free to join the conversation this morning. We are live and up on YouTube at Voice of the People Abuja. Just join the live stream. You can also go right there and drop a comment as well.
Hello. Good morning to you. Turn off your radio, please, before you calling. Turn off your radio. Go ahead. Good morning.
You just say I'm speaking with.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Former Chief FM staff, right?
Yes. Good morning.
This is Mr. Sunday the Prince. I was passing by when I heard the name. I said, "Now let me stop and be sure if the same gets in.
Sunday the Prince, good morning.
Happy to hear your voice because I've had it on radio. Post FM now will be my radio, and I will make sure I remain the tool permanently till up.
Thank you so much.
Nice celebration.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
My dear sister.
Okay.
It's unfortunate that we find ourselves in this situation.
Oh, we lost that call, but do also call back, Sunday the Prince. The number to call to join the conversation is 0700 010 961 961. Go ahead and give us a call or send a message. I mean, we'd love to hear your opinion. We are Voice of the People after all. Leave us a message. It is at Voice of the People Abuja on YouTube. We're live right now, so you can join the conversation. You can also send a message to 0700 010 961 961.
Anyway, we just quickly go pay some bills, and when we come back, of course, we get back to the headlines, talking about some of them. They are making the rounds this morning. Stay here. This is still
96.1 FM.
The Week in Review, a recap of all the big headlines and stories of the week. Saturdays at 8 a.m. only on VOP 96.1 FM. Now you have a voice.
Glory to God and to the Lamb. Beauty to the throne of eternity.
Brotherhood of the Cross and Star presents the Everlasting Gospel Movement on radio every Saturday, 6 to 7 p.m. on 96.1 FM. Tune in and be blessed. Thank you, Father.
Adoration.
Coming in hot.
Now you can enjoy the original taste of premium American Romeo's Pizza. Juicy, just the way you like it. To order online from Guarimpa, call 090-8831-5908. Gariki 090-8831-5906. And Lupe 090-9238-9861. Romeo's Pizza, the pizza champions.
Coming in hot, just like the fajita.
Are you traveling to Lagos and desire a perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, number 42 Murtala Mohammed International Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in our beautiful appointed rooms, featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Now, whether you are traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your every need is met. We also offer complimentary pick-up and drop from the Lagos airport.
Why not take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant?
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So why wait? Book your stay today and experience the ultimate in comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort.
Believe me.
Voice of the People, 96.1 FM.
We bring you all the big stories and what's behind them. Politics, business, sports, news, all on VOP 96.1 FM. Now you have a voice.
You're welcome back. This is still front page review on Voice of the People 96.1 FM. It's 8 o'clock on the DOT. And of course, remember, we are still live on YouTube at Voice of the People. Join in, drop a comment on, the page. Quickly, let's move on to the headline on The Nation. As, I've seen a couple of comments, reacting to this particular statement. Some said, it's an irony. And on The Nation, it says, federal government, our economic policies yielding fruits. Federal government, our economic policies yielding fruits. The federal government yesterday painted a positive economic picture of the days ahead. The policies of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration are yielding fruits. Key members of the economic team assured. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, his budget and national planning counterparts are talking about Atiku Bagudu, as well as Cardoso, the Central Bank of Nigeria governor, and FIRS chair Mr. Zak Adedeji promised an imminent drop in the high cost of living and inflation. They spoke when they appeared at the sectoral debate organized by the House of Reps for the finance sector in Abuja, Edo. The Minister of Finance said it was expected that there would be challenges with the withdrawal of petrol subsidy, and according to him, retaining it would have left the country on the path to economic disaster. And the minister assured that President Tinubu was committed to protecting the poorest and the vulnerable, and he also stressed that the need to increase crude oil production and boost foreign exchange inflow is necessary. And looking at the economic outlook so far, he actually said, and I quote, where we are as a nation economically is a much better place than where we were on the 29th of May 2023. So this is Wale Edun comparing the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the administration of the former president, talking about Muhammadu Buhari, that the economy is better as it is. Things are going well and better than it was during Buhari's administration. But it is quite ironic to know that this is a case of the APC handing over to the APC, and the failure of the previous government will also be the failure of this in the clear terms, in Nigerian language and in Nigerian understanding, is also the failure of this administration, because it is an APC administration. So now it seems like this administration of the APC is now passing the buck and the blame to the administration of the former president, who is also a member of the APC.
They've been quite diplomatic with how they go about comparing both political parties, because they know it's going to shoot them in the foot if they say anything bad about the previous administration. But it is not hidden anywhere. I mean, we even had Adams Oshomole talk about the economic policies of the previous administration. He said, as at August last year, he said there's nothing worse than Buhari's terrible economic policies. That's what Adams Oshomole had said last year. Even looking at that, Simeon, you have to understand that when there's a political party, maybe it's lack of theology or lack of oneness in your beliefs as a party that makes it difficult for us to see a unified, I don't know how to put it, a unified ideology or a unified direction.
Yes, we understand. Let me put it
like that. A unified direction. I don't know what it is that is causing that. Maybe because we have political, we have politicians who jump ship from one political party to the other. So there's no theology.
Let me ask you this.
There's nothing.
The same Oshomole who made this statement last year, sometime in August, that there was nothing worse than Buhari's economic policies. It actually took us down into the abyss. What party is Adams Oshomole? At the time President Buhari was the president, is he not a member of the APC? What party was the current president when he was President Buhari was the president
at the time?
He was also the national leader of the APC. And when we talk about the APC, you cannot take President Bola Tinubu away from it. Since the merger, since they came into power in 2015, defeating PDP, Goodluck Jonathan. It's really shocking when I hear members of the APC come out to make sudden and terrible remark about the administration. The question I ask myself: if Oshomole had great and good economic policies, why didn't he pitch it to the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari? You have now seen that members or key members of Buhari's administration are now trying to distance themselves from the administration of Buhari, people who are key members of the administration. It is quite sad. This is a way of throwing former president under the bus. And they were part of the administration, not like they weren't active at the time.
No, Simeon, you remember
was
during Buhari's administration, it was said in certain quarters that there was a sort of rift between a Tinubu and President Muhammadu Buhari, that he wasn't coming into the Aso Villa. He wasn't coming to the villa as much as he should have as the leader. He didn't have access to the president as the national leader of the party. This is what they were saying.
This was what they were saying. The question is, if President Tinubu at the time couldn't have access to the Aso Villa to have conversations with President Muhammadu Buhari at the time, the other members, the minions or the stooges around him, didn't they have access to Aso Villa? Is it not the same Oshomole himself that made a remark that come to the APC and your sins are forgiven, even if you are a money launderer, even though you embezzled money, just come, we'll forgive you? So when you see some of them making certain remarks like this, it is appalling, and it is shocking that same day who were glorifying President Muhammadu Buhari at the time are the ones now kicking against him and shooting him in the foot and insulting him, except for Femi Adesina, who have stood his ground that President Buhari did all he can for the favor of Nigerians. But they are the same people who are insulting President Buhari. They were the ones lauding him during his administration. At the end of the day, these people are just politicians who speak from both sides of their mouth. They only speak when they think they have something to benefit, and when they don't, the truth is they don't have anything to benefit from Muhammadu Buhari anymore. He has gone to Daura, hence they will have to throw him under the bus and insult him and criticize his economic policy.
Let's hear from the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, on the federal government's plans and investment in agriculture to curb the rising cost of food items.
Coordinator of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, says the federal government is working out a meeting with the...
I think the issue of rising prices is of concern to the government and everybody in Nigeria, and then some of the major steps which I can point out that are being taken to address this issue, because it's an issue of demand and supply, and a lot of emphasis has been placed on increasing agricultural production in particular. The president has intervened in that sector to provide grains, to provide fertilizer to farmers, to bring additional acreage, rice, maize, wheat, and cassava under additional acreage, additional production, in order to increase the output and thereby bring down prices, and that will help bring down inflation. And of course, we're in the middle of the dry season farming. We're looking forward to a good dry season harvest that will help to ameliorate food prices in particular and the price level in Nigeria in general.
All right, that was Wale Edun talking about the rising costs of food items and what the federal government is doing. Yesterday, we had a headline talking about 323,000 hectares of land that was supposed to be earmarked for the cultivation of maize, wheat. We had rice as well as cassava. So looking at that, it seems like a good idea, as it is. It seems like a good idea, but the execution is one that is left to be seen.
The thing is, let them move beyond rhetoric. Let them move beyond rhetoric. Let them move beyond talks and get to address some of this. Anyway, we have a call. Hello, good morning.
Oh, we've missed that. Do also call back 0700 010 961 961.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My brother, great day.
Good morning to you.
Yes, Mr. Fellow the Prince calling back.
You're welcome.
I missed I was interrupted by the line then. What I was saying, sometimes you don't allow things get out of hand before looking for solution. Before Tinubu came on board, he told us that the president has become his lifetime dream. And eventually the dream comes to pass. All this while that he was dreaming at the same time, he should have template. And thank God he was a Nigerian. He's not living abroad. He was here. And the man has lived in this country. He's a Nigerian for over 70-something years. So the problem we are going through. I'm believing that many people believe in him, that he has the money, he has the connections, he has the influence, that he can do better than Buhari. You know, that was what they're telling us on national radio. Even when we're telling them that each hospital frequently makes him lose the control of his leadership. So many people are jacked it and mismanage it. That we don't want the same thing to repeat himself. But so many were busy coming on national radio, national TV, telling us that Tinubu has deep pocket, has money, that he will transform this country in a twinkle of eyes. Now the mountain of leadership is in his hand. Look at how everything has turned out to be. Okay, now they need to wait before people protest, before doing the right thing. You know, as a leader, you need to have close relationship with the people you're leading. I remember the time of Obasanjo, he created interactive section on radio and television, allowing people to call him, giving him feedback on how situation of things is. And the people like Wale who told us that Tinubu administration has really made that in Africa life is better in Nigeria than other Africa, and we have enough food. He should visit market. I remember before he became a government official today, he was among all of us in the street, struggling from day-to-day activities. You should know that. And if because the good life in Aso Rock has made him to forget where he's coming from, he should take his time to visit the market, interview people. As of yesterday, rice is about 70,000 naira a bag. As cheap as noodles before now, it's about 350 naira. Where will you start from? Price of gas has risen to about 1,200. And people are telling that, look, people are hungry. The money we are getting today can no longer take us home. You can no longer solve any problem. You can't even have sufficient to eat before talking about saving. I cannot even remember the period I take money to the bank, because what I'm getting is not even enough for me and my family. Talk less of extended family. So what I do as a person should visit the market, interview the market women, do one or two choppings for himself, and he will understand what actually people are faring. On that process, let him disguise himself. Let him forget going with escorts. Let him come as a normal person in the market. Interview people. Let him come as a journalist. He will get direct feelings of the people, and possible take it to Mr. President. This is how people are faring. Because what I'm saying so, this is the same mistake people like Lai Mohammed, people like Jindatu Handler, the spokesman of Mr. President, do that time when we are telling him what is going on, and they are debunking the news, tell us we are lamenting that we are from opposition, and that is how they mismanage 8 years. And we don't want the same thing to happen again. We don't want. That's why we are calling on Tinubu. If because of his age, the wife as well is still active, the wife can as well go to the marketplace, come down to the streets, understand what people are faring. I think he's very close to the husband, and he will tell the man that, look, people are suffering, and we need to, put up measure to cushion the effect of people suffering. Because when you're bringing programs, you need to have something on ground to back it up. Good luck wanted to take away subsidy in 2011 or thereabout. They brought a lot of palliative on ground. There was a Shopee all over. There was a vehicle, interstate and state vehicle. Everything, they put so many things on ground. And even though when they took away the subsidy, increasing the fare to 145, people like Tinubu, Wale Soyinka, Buhari and the rest took to the streets, occupying Lagos and Abuja.
Nigeria.
That subsidy, yes. Subsidy is a scam. And someone was forced to bring the fare back to 96 naira. A listening president. And when the price in OPEC market dropped, he reduced it back to 86 naira. And Nigerians feel the side of relief. Now you bring this policy and it's not even working. As a president, you have all the rights. At least revise back on this policy, because for 8 months we have experimented this. He has thrown Nigeria into hardship. Let us reverse it. He can have the power. When people are telling me that it's Buhari that take away subsidy, I tell them it's a total lie. Why is lie? Because Mr. President is in charge now. He can decide whatever he wants and how he wants it, and nobody will force it. Because when Obasanjo was living in 2011, right? Increased the fare to 17 naira. And when Yaradua came, he revised it back to 65 naira. never saw. You get that right. So people telling me it's Tinubu that took away this, Buhari that took away the subsidy, Tinubu is just the escape, whatever. I said it's a total lie. Even Tinubu admitted that first subsidy is gone was out of script. It was not even among what they wrote for him during the inauguration, during the swearing in. He said it out of script. That means he's the one, and even according to budget, the budget of subsidy of Buhari captured till June. That means he would have allowed us to enjoy the end of the June. Those that eat this money, that 400 billion, we don't know how they went to the money. So for me, Tinubu made a lot of mistakes, Mr. President. And now there is enough time for him to sit back and reverse on such a decision that about to Nigeria, floating the naira against dollar and removing fuel subsidy, crippled the economy, and that is why there was a lot of hardship in the land today.
Okay.
And it as well revised on it. You know, that there's nothing bad in that. Reversing back on it. So for me, you need to, because you cannot be coming on air every day to be telling us to be patient that this hardship we are going through, that very soon to be over. Do you know how many people that they have lost their life within the space of 8 years? 8 months. If you want to the entire Nigerian wiped off, that is, you know that the hardship is really biting hard on us. Food of rice now is about 2,500 or thereabouts.
Thank you, Sunday.
So what are they telling us? I'm not happy, honestly.
Okay, thank
and
you.
If nothing is done, the protest will be all over the federation.
Thank you so much, Sunday the Prince.
Let me quickly, buttress the point Sunday the Prince raised. He said, sometimes we hear some of this, government spokespersons, people within this administration making certain remarks and comments, making it seem like they do not really understand the plight of the common Nigerian. And then he said, let Wale do. Go into the streets and go to ask the price of things.
Conduct
let him go shopping.
Interviews. Ask.
This reminds me of what happened in 1976. The former president of Tanzania, that's Julius Nyerere, one of the popular presidents in Africa. I remember then, as a president, he disguised himself as a beggar in Tanzania. Back in 1970s, there was serious famine in the country, and he disguised himself as a beggar, going to the government warehouse where food was stocked to distribute to the citizens, and he went there to beg for food, and they shoved him off. Not knowing that was the president who disguised himself. Let President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, let the coordinating minister of the economy and Wale do, let him go. Let them take their food. Let them disguise themselves. Pay a makeup artist. Let them make them up. Go to the market and ask the price of things. Maybe then they will understand what the average Nigerian is going through. Because at this point, they are speaking from, what planet they are in. I don't think they are in Nigeria or on planet Earth.
Simeon, these individuals, they have helps who do the shopping. So, you know what? They just say, okay, give us let's stock up the house. So they don't necessarily understand what it is. I was talking to a friend of mine a couple of days ago, and he said he wants to get to that point where he cannot relate to the sun hitting people when they are trekking to enter taxi or along and all that. He wants to get to that point where he can no longer understand it. There's a certain level of comfortability you get to that you forget. Not that you forget that you once suffered. I mean, you remember you once suffered, but that feeling, the pain that it caused you after rain beats you before you reach house. You went to the market and you were shouting at that woman, "Madam, what is it?" When you remember all those things that you go through, there's a certain level of comfortability that you get to that you do not remember it intimately. Maybe that's the point.
Some of this our leaders are at this moment.
Well, you can join the conversation, right? It's at 0700 010 961 961. We're also live on YouTube, Voice of the People, Abuja. Now the president is back. Do you think anything is going to be different since he's decided to grace us with his presence? Right?
They decided to grace us.
Now I don't know. At this point, he went on a private visit. We were not aware. We didn't follow him there. So now he's graced us with his presence. Do you think there's anything that's going to be different now that the president is back? What is your take on it? You are voices that we need to hear on this platform. Give us a call and join our YouTube.
Okay, 0700 010 961 961 is the number. 0700 010 961 961. You can also send us a voice note or a message on WhatsApp via the same number, and we'll get to read them. And talking about the landing statement of Sunday the Prince, where he said if nothing has been done, we might see protests. Let's talk about the protest that rocked Niger State and Kano State yesterday, as widely reported. But now the APC is not reacting to the protests that happened, rocked these two states. And the APC is saying opposition's plot to instigate violence against federal government. Opposition's plot to instigate violence against federal government. The All Progressive Congress has now accused the opposition parties of treacherously failing protest in some parts of the country to undermine the federal government. It claimed that in its desperation to portray the APC-led administration as underperforming, the opposition parties have resorted to instigating unsuspecting young people to protest in the streets of some major cities. APC, in a statement, by the National Publicity Secretary Felix Moka, urged Nigerians to be vigilant and not lend themselves to the treacherous, attempt by the opposition to promote social strife by its incendiary rhetoric and manipulative plots. And of course, Moka made this statement on Monday, saying that with the protest that has rocked Kano State and Mina in Niger State, these are mercenaries of the opposition who have taken to the streets to frustrate this administration and make it seem like the APC-led administration is doing absolutely nothing. So, Gessie, what do you think about this?
Opposition and the power, the government in power, they would always have a back and forth. For some reason, they would always have a back and forth. And it's interesting to me that some of these individuals make some of the statements that they make, because they seem to forget that the internet never forgets. You were once in power, you were once in another political party, and you jumped to another one. So it's not like as if you have any solidarity with one political party. Most of these individuals, we have seen it. This is not even hearsay. We have seen it that majority of Nigerian politicians are after their own stomach infrastructure. They're after what they get, personal interests, however that may be. And you clearly said that it would be ludicrous of someone who is employed by somebody else to go outside and be singing a different tune, because we've said it. He who pays the piper dictates the tune. So true. It's not weird. It's not untoward that you would see somebody coming out to make these assertions against the opposition party. Apart from that, isn't it what is happening in the country? Aren't we seeing hunger? Aren't we seeing a rising rate of criminality, kidnapping, killings of individuals? Aren't we seeing it? Aren't we experiencing it? We've seen different situations everywhere, so it's not like as if people are bringing out new headlines off of their head. They're not, there was the other day, the deputy VC in Abia University was abducted, and it's in the news that just a couple of hours ago he regained freedom. So there have been different people. Look at the monarchs in Ekiti State. Look at the lady who
released the wife
exactly.
of one of the monarch after going through a gruesome experience. Really pathetic and really sad.
All right, just to touch up on a couple of other headlines, we're not going to go into it because our time is fast spent. We're seeing petrol queues emerging in Lagos and environs. NNPCL has come to say that, this is a distribution issue. It's not a question of scarcity, it's just a distribution issue. This is according to the NNPC, but the IPMAN has said his members have not been able to lift the product for days. There's always a back and forth between IPMAN and the NNPCL. We get to see how that plays out.
And also, let's also mention that Lagos TUC, others protest ban on sachet alcohol, cite potential 500,000 job loss. So the Trade Union Council, as well as the Food, Beverage and Tobacco Senior Staff Association of Nigeria,
that's labor.
In fact, all the labor, groups have announced